Hi, I'm here.
Uh,
Oh, I
Me too.
have your like live video playing over here, so let me just pause that.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, sometimes people like checking out the chat while we're interviewing. But it distracts me. So
I love it. It's so funny because I was like, I can't find the link. I can find your YouTube channel. I can see you.
well, that's
So yeah,
funny.
thank you for sending it again. I don't know why I couldn't find it. I was checking all my different emails. Where's the Zoom
Yeah,
link? But I'm
it's
here.
it just froze again. I have no idea. It's never happened before.
You're not freezing on my end. I don't see you freezing at all.
Oh, Giselle said I was freezing. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, guys, we're just gonna have to go with it.
Yeah, you weren't freezing when I was watching the live. I didn't see any freezing.
Okay,
You were
well,
good.
good. Well,
Yes.
welcome. Sorry for the crazy start.
No, it was my fault. I was like, let me just announce on Instagram real fast that I'm going live at 9. So yeah,
Right.
I'm all about deadlines, aren't I? So that was my
Right?
fault.
Well, you have been live all morning in your defense.
Yes,
So,
yes, I have been. I told you, the beautiful thing is I will schedule things all in a chunk. So if I need one babysitter, like, yeah, I can clock 3 hours of live time. So yes.
right? And you mentioned sticky notes earlier, and I was trying to like clean off my desk before you
Yes.
came live, and I'm
Yes.
like, wow.
That is my life. Yep. Sticky notes and my planners. Like that's how I survive. When I'm out and about, I use the notes. Like I keep things in my notes.
Hmm.
Do you have a Mac computer?
No.
No, I love the Mac will like sync with my phone so I can
Oh,
text from my computer and I can look at my notes on my computer that I put in my phone. I just love
oh,
it.
nice.
It's so nice.
That's great.
I
So,
know.
she said you were freezing, but not anymore. Okay, good. So, just so you know, and anyone that's new to watching these Meet the Teachers, when I'm looking here, it's because I have a list of questions for Nancy. And when I'm looking over here, it's because I'm checking the live chat. So, I'll ask a few questions and then we'll check the chat and get their questions. So,
Cool. So do you have your live video running and
yeah,
you're just reading? Oh, that's so cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm really good at it. And other times, if I haven't had enough coffee, I have a hard time following it. So,
I have a team member now in my Zoom sessions. I'm like, I have to have someone help me
mhm.
because it's a lot to manage.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get started. Are you ready?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so can you give us a little bit background about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. So I studied education when I was going to school and then became a teacher, a mainstream classroom
Mhm.
teacher. I taught for 5 years before I had my daughter. So I started teaching online when I had her. I remember before I was even pregnant, I was like, I will be home with my children looking for online work. I tried a couple different things and I feel like I applied for them. They were contracted position, but I never really saw a paycheck. I was like making $13 a week, like doing this
Oh.
admin work. I was like, it's not doable. I'm going to have to substitute. So I substitute
Mhm.
taught and then found VIP Kid. And at first it was slow again. I thought it was a repeat. And then all of a sudden I had like this real paycheck, like $1,000, $2,000. So a month, which was really
Mhm.
great. And it just opened up an opportunity for me to work from home. And then I started recruiting and that's where I've been spending a lot of my time is recruiting and now coaching other teachers to recruit. So yeah,
Yay.
that's my
I
thing.
saw one of your pictures on your website and I was like, oh, see, even when your baby was little, he didn't want to smile.
No. Oh my gosh, Jack is like poker face
I didn't know
through
if
and through.
I know you usually mention their names, but I didn't know if I should. But yes, Jack and
Yes.
Ava, they're so cute.
Yes, I
Oh,
know. So fun. I can hear them just stomping galore above me. Their room's
oh
above
really?
me. So yeah. That's the nice thing of these headphones. Like you can't hear it. It's
Right?
peaceful.
My kids are 21 and 19, so there's no more like if it's stomping, it's because they're mad.
Yes, you do not look old enough to have a 21-year-old. I bet that's just
No,
crazy. Isn't it
it
crazy how
is.
fast it goes?
He's getting married Thursday, and I might not be able to go, so I'm like, whoa.
Oh,
We
yes,
won't
it's
talk
all
about that.
crazy. Oh my goodness. It's true. It's funny because when you're in the moment, it feels like you'll be in that moment forever, which is not
Mhm.
true. It's like, man, that's the blink of an eye, and there they are
Right.
getting married.
I
Well,
know.
congratulations. That's
Crazy.
awesome.
Both in college, so I'm an empty nester, so that's weird.
So crazy.
Okay, so what was well, I guess you kind of told us your why for starting with VIP Kid already. So how long have you been with VIP Kid?
So I started is it 2016? So it's been 4 years. I'm starting into my fifth year. I don't know what
Wow.
number of contract that is, but starting my fifth year. Yeah, it's crazy because I feel like when I was teaching in the classroom, I would get burnt out. I would like my husband is a pilot, so he had training in Arizona. We live in Utah, and when he went to Arizona, I was like, I'm coming with you. Like I always was just kind of moving around. I don't feel like I fully established myself in a school, and I would get burnt out to the point where I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. I have not like the 5 years, like or 4 years, 4 in a couple months have
Hmm.
flown by. I haven't felt like I've worked a day, and it's just because I've loved it. I love it.
Yeah, me too. I'm only on my second contract though, so.
Oh, it gets better with time. It's so fun.
So what does your VIP kid schedule look like now?
My schedule, so specific for VIP Kid, I actually have taken 3 months. 3 months I have not taught. So my schedule,
Wow.
let's say before this 3 months, I would always teach an hour in the morning, and then I would work on my YouTube, my recruiting. I would spend majority of my time on recruiting. Now the last 3 months has been different because I launched a course where I teach other teachers. So I was planning on only taking 2 months off, but I had to take March off as well because I'm now coaching teachers in the morning. So I'll do that live time. I always do my live coaching. My live teaching is when my kids are asleep. So I do that coaching at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So I've just started doing coaching current teachers instead of teaching in the morning, teaching my VIP Kids students. And then I do my recruiting as well and have my team run that. So I will start teaching my students again in April. I cannot wait. They send
Aw.
me on WeChat, where are you? How are you doing? I've asked. I'm right here. I will be back. I'm teaching teachers. I promise. So
Oh,
yeah, I can't wait to be with them.
shoot. Well, I like that in the chat we have teachers that are taking the course. They're in here
Yes.
too. So
Yes.
yes, we've made so many friends, and one of our friends, Evelyn, has a YouTubers group with VIP Kid YouTubers, and it has grown with tons from our course that we're taking. So it's been fun to see everybody in both groups there. So
Yes. Oh, it's been so fun. This is the first time I've done the course, and so I've just been loving it. I'm learning so much, growing so much, and it's cool to be like helping teachers and helping them not only, I don't know, it's just really rewarding. I feel like every route that I've taken in my work, I've always just wanted to help and serve, and it's really paid off more than just income. It pays off in the reward business.
yeah.
It's really rewarding. But I'm also a big like fan of like it's very motivating to have a paycheck, to have that money to motivate you to continue to do it. I think that
Yeah.
that is a huge motivator, and most definitely that is a part of why I do things that I do in a
Mhm.
business mindset. Um, but yeah, it's very rewarding work.
I'm glad you mentioned that because sometimes, you and I had a meeting and we talked about my goals. And
Mhm.
I felt kind of guilty saying, like, I would like to make six figures. And you're like, yes,
Yes.
go for it.
Oh, yes.
But
Yeah, I've had like financial goals. It's funny because I also kind of like be nervous to like say them. I'll always
yeah,
tell them to my husband, like, this is what I want to do. And like they're goals where if I shared them with my family or if I like mention them on my social media, like some people will be like, yeah, right,
yeah,
or laugh about it. But then like when they happen, I'm like, this is so cool. Like I envision this in my mind. I plan the action steps to get to that point, like a
right.
six-figure course launch. That was a goal of mine. It's like I want to have a six-figure course launch, and I did it, and I just like cried and cried like because I visioned it for so long. I thought
Mhm.
about it and I took the action steps. So it was just really cool to see those ideas come to life.
Yeah. This course is great. I can't, they know. I'm just so excited for it. I am not through the modules where I'm supposed to be yet, but it's self-paced. So I
Yeah,
love that.
I'm not a pacing police. Don't worry. You go at your speed.
So, what is a challenge that you've had to overcome, maybe as a VIP kid teacher or just in general with the course?
A big challenge. So first, when I first started, when I was teaching after 7 months, I started a YouTube channel, and I think that something that I had to overcome was a mindset shift. Of a lot of times, you'll sometimes get comments or things where people don't agree, or they're they're going to say things that aren't very kind online, and I was really scared of that. I was nervous to share my story or share things online because I was worried about the haters or whatnot. And
Mhm.
it was definitely a mindset I had to remind myself that when people are saying things like, I hate how she teaches, or why in the world would you be successful at this, or just like things that are a reflection of how they feel about maybe their current life or current situation, I realized that it wasn't normally directed at me. It was just a way for them to outlet it. And so that was kind of hard to learn. Like, I remember my first negative comment. I was like, I went to my husband. He's always my sounding board. Like, what should
Oh
I
my
do? This is the worst. Like, people hate me. This kid said he would kill himself if I was his teacher. Like, things that would like get to your heart. And he's like, it's probably a 12-year-old. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
I have so much
Or a
better
30-year-old.
to do than care. Yeah, like it was just like, you have so much good to do that why would you spend any time or any energy worrying about that or giving it any attention? Sometimes I want to comment back to things that are probably true. Like they're like so specific. I'm like, oh, I got to defend myself. And Dave always says, don't give them any attention. Delete it or don't comment. Just leave it. Don't ever say anything, even if you want to defend yourself. And I thought that's so true because they want like, oh, what did they say back? So that was really hard for me to learn. There was a second thing. What was the exact question? Maybe that will remind me.
I said, what is a challenge as a VIP kid teacher or another challenge that you had to
Oh,
overcome?
okay. And a challenge that I would say a lot of teachers might see is when you're like starting. So I work with a lot of new teachers. So a challenge that a lot of them see is bookings, or perhaps they're unsure on the platform. So that's something that I coach a lot of teachers on. And the biggest thing that I had to learn was time. So I had that struggle when I first started 4 years ago. Is I didn't think that bookings would come through, but when I allowed time to take its place and I did my part to learn how the teaching strategies and how to be a better teacher, it was able to grow. And the cool thing with online is a lot of things are going online. There's a ton of growth with teaching online. So if you are a current online teacher or thinking about it, it's just a really good place to be right now. So,
Good.
yes.
Hey guys, I do want to remind you that there's an awesome chat going on. If you have questions for me or for Nancy, please put them in caps so that I don't miss them. I did want to say though, Evelyn, that's in our chat, she applauded when I got my first thumbs down. She's like, "Yay, people are finding you now. You know."
You made it.
Okay. She's like, no, that's
true.
More people are finding you. So
Yep. The more people that follow you, the more that they kind of take the person out of it. I don't know why. It's just they'll say comments that I don't know. Maybe they don't treat you as a human being.
Right.
Okay. Another tip with that too, for anyone that wants to do YouTube or put themselves online, I don't really go in and read a lot of the Facebook groups or things. I remember I was doing some keyword research and I looked up my name and the first thing that popped up was like, why do people hate Nancy Taylor? And I was like, that's the number one search. It's so funny because I think it was on Reddit, I don't know, some sort of forum. And I don't know why I clicked on it. I was like, what did they say? And I was like, that just made me feel terrible. It was such a waste of time. It didn't help anything. And that I learned my lesson right there, right in that moment of that was a waste of my time, my energy, and how I felt about myself. So why did I spend any time on that? So I just don't read the comments, and that's the way I can continue to create content. I do read comments on my YouTube channel. Like I do read feedback and that stuff, but if there's something negative or if someone brings it to my attention, did you see this conversation about you? I'm like, nope, and I don't want to see it.
Is it positive?
Yeah. If it's something that's drama, nope, I don't want it. So yeah.
Say no to drama. So how do you handle tough or distracted kiddos in your class?
Good question. A lot of times when I'm teaching, I will, like with my younger students, I teach a lot of the same students over and over. So my distraction is a little bit different than maybe a new teacher that's teaching a variety of students that they haven't seen before. My distracted could be because I see them every day. So mine are very much regular students. I have like a handful of 5 that I teach over and over and see time and time again. And the biggest thing is having, I always bring in their interest into the conversation. I teach a lot of intermediate advanced students. One of them loves Harry Potter. Her name is Eva, and she'll dress up as Hermione. And so our conversation, we always bring in Harry Potter. He comes into the conversation. I love Harry Potter. I'll bring in like things. And the biggest thing, the way we get distracted is our conversation will get off topic. So a lot of times I have to time her. I'll say, okay, I'm going to time you on my phone. Let's see if you can read this text in 1 minute. And so, and then we kind of race each other. You read, now my turn. She loves to time me. She tells me exactly how many rewards I got. So my distracted student is more so with the advanced student that could get off on a different conversation, or that I know like inside and out. I know her parents, I've met them. Like, it's just, they're like family to me. So, and I know that's maybe will relate with some teachers that have been teaching for a while. For the beginner teacher, the distracted student, the biggest thing was patience. The parent loves that you're trying, that you're giving it an effort, that you're trying to keep their attention, and just don't get frustrated on camera. Like,
right.
do your best.
So do you have a favorite prompt and reward? And how do you change it with having the same students over and over?
Yeah, I do. I use the app Stars to Apples. So I just use it on
Oh,
my phone. The reward Stars to Apples. I like very simple. I'm very simple. I've kind of gone through different stages in my classroom. I used to have like a reward systems all printed off, the 2D ones that were magnetic. I don't even touch those anymore. So my favorite props, honestly, are just, I teach for VIP Kid, obviously. So I do Meg, Mike, Dino. Those are my go-to grabs that I always have in my lessons. But my students like to bring props. I'm pretty sure they bring the lesson to life. They'll bring in toys and they'll bring in things to show me. So yeah, mine's very simple. I am not a prop queen. Very simple.
We have some prop queens in our chat along with me. I do like my
Yes,
props.
see, you're the go-to. That's the thing. I'm like the simple, what's the easiest? I know because I would talk to Jennifer. Jennifer Anderson always had
Uh-huh.
glorious props. She's sharing all these and has like this
Yeah.
magnetic board, and I would
Right.
like covet it. Like, why don't I spend all the time? And then I realized I just didn't have the organization to have it all organized. My kids come to my classroom and they just have playtime. And so I would have to set mine up to have it organized.
Yeah.
But yes, your props are awesome.
I don't know that I'm organized, but I do have a lot of props.
I just raid my kids' toy room. That's how we keep a variety.
Right. So how long have you been on YouTube? So you just answered this morning in our group, but how long does it take you to edit or shoot your film?
Yes, videos. Yep, yep. I've been on there, so it's been 3.5 years. I started 7 months after starting teaching, so I guess a little bit over 3.5. But when I first started, it would take me a lot longer to edit videos, to film them and to edit. But now what I do is I'll usually record a handful at a time. I'll batch record, and I'll take an entire work day. So I'll take 8 hours, and I'll either get a babysitter or have Dave watch the kids, and I'll film several videos. It takes me less time to edit, maybe 2 hours, which still sounds long to edit one video. But it used to take like 6, 7 hours. I don't think you realize how much time editing takes until you do it yourself. You're like,
Yeah.
holy cow. I am so grateful for those that create content online, because sometimes I'll look at an Instagram and think, oh, what an easy life. Like I used to have these thoughts. And then when I was like, you have to have great photos, great content that you post below, you're working with sponsors. Like, there's so much work that goes behind the scenes that we don't realize until you're in that position doing it, or if you have a family member doing it. But there's a lot of work.
And now I'm like, it's just a 2-minute video, guys. Why are you watching 50 seconds? Like, I never realized how important the watch time was.
Yes, yeah. Mindy's a prop queen too. Oh, that's so fun.
Well, wow, 24 people are here. Thank you for coming, everybody. Okay, I was gonna see. Oh, thank you, Evelyn. She shared our link around.
Yay. Yes, I know. That's why I was 2 minutes late. I gotta share. Come join us.
Evelyn said some people are mean because they are jealous. She said earlier she hasn't. Oh, okay. They're talking in the chat. I'm trying to read the. Nancy, you helped so many of us through the application process. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. That makes me happy.
I watched her mock lessons to pass mine. That's
so
still
fun.
like a huge video for you, yes?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
people still use that.
That's something else that I say is, if I have a video that performed really well, let's say that they changed the mock class, I still leave up the old video because it does have a high ranking. And then I always just say, here's the updated video. I don't take down those old videos because they still pop up. Number one. Number two, it takes a lot of time, or if you get really lucky, you could have a video that goes viral or posts or pops up right away and is recommended, and you don't have control over that. But it does take time to get those videos ranking number one, number two.
Right. Good. Oh, hey, Tim, thanks for coming. Guys, I know there's so many of you in the chat. I'm going to miss somebody, but thank you everyone for coming. And I have a couple more questions and then we'll take them from the chat. Does that work, Nancy?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Do you have a favorite teaching moment or a funny moment that you want to share?
Yes, I have too many favorite teaching moments. I have a favorite moment I had a student, his name was Bruce. I actually haven't seen him for maybe 6 months now. And that's the hard thing, is I don't have him on WeChat. Yeah, but Bruce was one of my favorites. I would see him all the time. I would teach him on vacation. I would teach him when we were out and about. He knew Dave, and like my favorite teaching moments, like when we were learning, I think it was jobs and things, he would always name, like the pilot was always Dave, and it just was like he was my family. He knew my family, he knew my kids. There's not like an exact moment when I was like, "Aw," but I have actually video clips on my YouTube channel of Bruce, because he would always tease me. He would always and do you have students like this, Kasie, that will tease you and you're just like, oh my goodness, they're hilarious? Like he'll say the opposite. You have one?
Just one that's all about being opposite, and I'm like,
yes,
knock you down here, buddy. This is a UA. This is not the one to be.
Oh yes, yep. I have a second student, his name's Kevin, and he'll say opposites. Did you like that? And he'll say yes. Like he'll always do thumbs down, and so I do it in return. And it's just, I love how comfortable it becomes as I've seen them. Even as an online teacher, the cool thing is you don't like finish after a year and send them on to the next teacher. I can continue that relationship and see massive growth. Like couldn't read, reading a textbook. Like it's just so cool to be a part of their journey for an extended period of time.
I'm not there yet with any of mine. I have one that I've taught 60 something classes, all level 1 so far. So yes, I'm not there yet with them, of seeing the going from non-readers to readers, but I was a classroom teacher too. So I have gotten some of that.
Yeah.
There will always be naysayers, and my husband always says you can't please everyone.
Yeah. So true.
I'm so bad. I try. I got to get over that, really. Okay, see, I got distracted from the chat again. Sorry, Nancy.
No, you're fine. Heather did ask, do you write your own feedback for students? And I do. But keep in mind, I only teach an hour in the morning, so that's 2 classes. And I'll do the sandwich feedback, positive and then constructive and then positive. I know that some teachers will have blurbs or maybe use Feedback Panda. And if you're teaching a full-time schedule, I would look into something that helps to ease that load, because that's a ton of work to do outside of your teaching time. But mine, I can do like within the 5-minute transition. It's very easy, or I can do it right after class for 10 minutes or less, because I've only taught for an hour and a half max. When I was teaching my beginning and I was only teaching, I would teach for about max was 4 hours, but I would get a good chunk of time in there, and I would consistently do that. And I remember feeling a little bit more tired. That's why I do love doing YouTube. I do love the branding, the recruiting, because it's so flexible and I don't have to be on live as much. But when I was teaching that amount of time, it did take longer to do feedback. What do you do for feedback, Kasie?
Well, I've been using the templates and then just changing some of the things up there. But I know that following, like Ed Nace and making it more personalized would definitely help with my 5 apples, because I only have 4%.
I don't even know my percentage. I don't know. Do you check on the app? I know. A lot of times I'm asked my stats. I'm like, I'm not sure.
You have to check in the teacher portal, I believe.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I used to watch those like a hawk when I was just teaching, and now I don't pay attention to them, only because I do the teaching because I love it, and like I took 3 months off. I don't do it as much for the paycheck. I know a lot of teachers do it for the paycheck. I mean, that's your income, and I was at that point at first, but I do it because I love the kids, and I like to learn from them too.
I know, they're so much fun.
So fun.
Oh. Okay, so for those that don't know, what is Biteslow?
Oh, Beyond Teaching
BT, yes.
ESL Online. Yeah. So Beyond Teaching ESL Online, that's the course that I launched in
Right.
January and that Casey's in. Yay.
Yay.
And it's so fun.
Yes.
I started creating it, I think it was a year ago. A year ago, like today, I was thinking, how could I was getting questions about how to recruit, how do you do this? A lot of questions about YouTube,
Mhm.
and questions from teachers that wanted to also recruit and build a brand. And so it kind of got my mind thinking of how could I help them? I was recruiting such high numbers that I couldn't invest the time on both. So I created a system for my recruiting with a team that helps me to keep those numbers and keep it moving forward. And then I developed and created curriculum for branding, creating YouTube, recruiting, and that's what Beyond Teaching ESL Online is. Be Tesla. I always think of the Tesla. I'm like, this is our Tesla.
We're test driving Teslas now.
Yeah, yeah. So it's been so fun. It's been going for 3 months now. And so, yeah, that's what it is.
Good. It has been great. I know there's at least 4 or 5 in the chat that are in that group too. So
Awesome. And we have, there's 300 in the cohort, which is amazing. I'm just blown away.
yes.
So
Let's
cool.
see. Please tell Nancy about our group, VIP Kid YouTubers. She should join us. So I was telling her about it this morning, actually, in our live, that we have a YouTubers group. Or I mentioned it in one of the lives, and that's how most of us are keeping in touch from the Beyond course
Oh,
into this
cool.
YouTuber group. And so we have over 100 people in this
That's
group. So we've all
awesome.
subscribed and we watch each other's, and we have
Oh,
someone
that's
that
cool.
makes a weekly playlist so we can play for an hour of watch time for a group. And
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool. So you started it because of the group? You do a Facebook group that's for YouTubers?
Evelyn started that one. Mine is
Oh,
collaboration station. So everything we collaborate on goes to my group, and the YouTubers go to
oh,
this group.
cool. I love that.
It's been great networking.
Yes, it's so cool to create those groups to support each other to grow and develop a skill set. And then my big thing, and we've talked about it, is and then cracking the code on how to make that a business, how to monetize on that. And so it's really helpful to have others that are in that same mind space and are developing those same skills. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Great. Oh, oh yeah. See, Kasie knew. Kasie said I did mention it earlier. I thought I did. Heather said, thank you for answering her feedback question. Um, could you tell us interactive activities to practice feelings? I've watched your videos, but I want some activities to do students to students. Interactive
Michael.
activities to practice feelings?
Okay, sorry, I was turning up my mic volume. I was looking at the chat box. Okay, what was the question?
I told
Interactive?
you, watching the chat can get you off track. um, I think it's Alini. She asked, could you tell us interactive activities to practice feelings? I've watched your videos, but I want some activities to do students to students.
Um, I don't know. Do you know, Casey? Interactive for
To
teaching
practice
feelings. I
feelings.
always just do TPR and then I also have props. I have like, and I'll specifically have these props because they have an emotion. So I'm like,
Oh yeah.
sad. And then I'll show them. But that's all I do. I don't have like select. I mean, you could always have your reward be interactive. It could be
Yeah.
pick a feeling, and they could pick happy, sad, and
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know, get a sticker or something. But I don't have interactive activities. I would have to have my creative hat on, and
Yeah.
it's
I use my 2D props for
oh
the different ones. I love these vocabulary cards. They're from like the for special education, so there's a something for everything on
oh
there,
cool.
colors and everything. But I use these cards, and I think like Nancy was saying, one thing you could do is put sticky notes on these for like find a star or find the emotion, and they could
Yeah.
choose that way.
Yeah, you could just make your own with sticky tabs and just draw a happy face, sad face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone else has ideas for her, please put them in the chat so we can share ideas in the chat too. So, Tim, how's your course going, Nancy?
Oh, awesome. I don't know, ask Kasie. I've been loving it. The course is 10 weeks and it's flown by. It's gone so fast. And so I have been loving it. I've been getting great feedback. Teachers have been building their brand. It's
Yes.
so cool to see like what you teach and then to see it implemented and even done better than I could imagine. Like, wow, this is such a gift and a talent that you have. And so it's so cool to see that and to see people not only like take action, but to have the confidence to take action. I think a lot of us hold back. We have an expertise, we have a skill, we have an ability to share and recruit and do these things and share this opportunity, but we're nervous of offending. We're scared of just a little bit timid about things. And so to see 300 people come together and have this common goal, it just gives you that motivation of, yeah, I can do this. I know
Yeah.
that, and seeing each other do it. I think a big part of it has been the community. So it's gone really well from my perspective. Kasie, has it gone well from yours?
Yes, and they know I love it. I've mentioned it tons and tons because one thing I like is I've been focusing mostly on my YouTube, but I know I can go back to the course and say, oh, this is my next step, which is my freebie. So
Mhm.
this is my next step. And then I'll do my freebie and do my YouTube, and then I can go back and say, oh, next step. So it keeps me going. It's kind of like my homework. It's kind of like making a to-do list, but it's all spelled out for me. And there's resources. And Tim, I told him that he was on there, and he was like, oh, you saw, the interview. And
Mhm.
so, yeah.
Yes. Yep. His interview is awesome. Yep.
It's funny. They'll ask me, like, where in the course am I?
Oh yeah.
I
You're
think
the
Kristen
bonus,
asked.
Tim.
Yeah.
Oh, she did. Yeah, Kristen's in the bonus too. Yep, we
Yes.
have some good interviews. I interviewed several teachers on their
Mhm.
recruiting journey, and it was really helpful. Tim's in
Yeah.
there, Kristen's in there. I have Angela Silva, Tina, and then I have Carol in there as well. So I interviewed all five of them. Did I miss anyone? I think
Ooh.
there was five. Yep, five that
I,
are in there. So it's
I'm
cool to
pretty
see there are different.
excited.
Yeah.
I've interviewed 3 of them.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. So
So, and
cool.
one said next month, so maybe we'll have her on here soon. Super excited. Okay, let's see. Wow, there's more in the chat than I was. Oh, thank you, moderators. I've never had anybody show up that needed to be like moderated or taken down, and I see there's lots of people coming in that they're having to take down. Sorry, guys, but thank you for watching my back. Nancy, do you schedule, plan all your videos, or just create when the creativity comes?
I like to plan. That's a good question. It's kind of like I like to think about it. If you have an Instagram account and you're trying to grow it, you can schedule out content. So you could have like 2 posts that are going to go live each week, and then that leaves you wiggle room to post as you please. Now, I've never scheduled out my Instagram content. I need that's on my goal list to take it more seriously. But for my YouTube content, I do. I schedule out. I'll schedule out like 4 videos for that month, but the thing is, if something comes up or if I need to put a video out sooner, then it's flexible. I'm flexible with that. I don't like post my schedule and say these are the videos for this month. But I do have them scheduled out just so I know what to expect. I know if it's been recorded, filmed, edited. I just know where it's in the creation process. But yes, I do schedule it out, but then I also create in the moment.
My husband took this week off, so he's like, we're going to help you with these batch videos because he's very structured and I'm just
Yes.
not. So I know what needs to be done and I've made a list and he's keeping me on target. So
Yeah. Well, the cool thing too, like with this crazy coronavirus, things going a little bit wacky, I have scheduled videos, but I just don't feel like I don't want to put that video out there because it doesn't really pertain to what we need right now. Like we need something else right now that I want to speak to. So then I just created a video, honestly, I think it was yesterday or Sunday that will be going live today that is on like coronavirus, how to stay healthy, what to do when you're home with your kids all day. Because I wanted to share that content. I think that that's something that would better serve my audience right now.
it's relevant right now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, versus
Yeah.
like branding or I don't even know the other video. It was like a morning routine. I just felt like that didn't pertain as well to what I could talk about.
Right. I was happy. Kristen, when she reached out to me, she said, we need some positive and I'd like to do it this week so that we can have some positive online. So that's how ours got scheduled for
Hmm.
for this week. So let's see, just remove the person completely. Oh, Wow, there's a lot of stuff going on in this chat I've never seen before. So
My
they
fault.
found her
It's my
back,
fault.
though. They followed you.
Yeah. The haters came with me.
Okay, so where are we? Oh, so I am in 2 of Nancy's courses. I don't know that I've ever said that. So I'm doing the BTESLO and now I got to read it.
Teslo. Yep, just no beep.
Yes.
Teaching ESL online. Mhm.
How to become a better ESL teacher and how to brand. Those are my
Mhm.
the ways I explain the 2 courses. So
Uh-huh.
can you tell us about that one? Because I think that can pertain to anyone that's not looking to build their brand, but looking to become better teachers. So
Yeah, definitely. So the foundational course, it actually was very easy to make because that's what I've been doing the past 3 years is coaching applicants through the through the application process and then also new teachers. So it teaches you the foundation for teaching ESL online. I've coached a lot of current teachers and they're transitioning to teaching online. So we go over TPR modeling. It goes everywhere from setting up your classroom to the strategies to gaining bookings, technology. It's just all within 20 videos. It's 20 video series, 4 hours of content, which I tried to shorten and make it as to the point as I possibly could. But yeah, there's a lot of content in there, but it's like your foundational guide for teaching ESL online. Another thing too is if you're recruiting or coaching others or want to better your skills as a coach, it's a helpful tool that you can learn. Okay, here's the teaching strategies, and that course is available at any time of the year, and that one's at a I think that's a good price point for beginning teachers and something that they could purchase and afford.
and I have an affiliate code from you that we can put in the
Yes.
description box too to help it. I think it helps everybody out there too. So guys, if I missed your question, please put it back down in caps. There's, like I said, there's a lot going on in here that's messages deleted. So Nancy, I've heard that if you mention the name of the virus in your video, we just talked about this,
Mm-hmm.
that video becomes demonetized by YouTube. Is this true? Have you had any troubles yet?
Yeah, we did talk about this morning, and that was the first that I had heard of it. If I were to, and I am posting a video today on the coronavirus. I have not yet, but I believe that they're doing it. Our discussion said that they were doing that just to avoid misinformation. If people were trying to post information about it, and then we were getting the wrong information, and people would panic for the wrong reason. So mine is just tips to stay sane while I'm inside with my kids. So, but
Right.
if I wasn't able to monetize, or maybe it doesn't pop that video up, I'm okay with that. I would just put it on there. If they ask you to not monetize, then I would just toggle it over. I don't think you would get a strike having like that's not a rule in their guidelines. But there was a link. Do you
Yeah,
remember it? Do you have the link?
that's what
It
I was
was
just looking for.
Oh, I was just going to say there's a link. I would just research and go online and say, can I use coronavirus in a title on YouTube? Just research it and see what are the guidelines that are current for this situation right here.
Right. It was in the YouTube help, I think is
Oh,
where she found it. And Loretta found it too somewhere.
mhm.
We'll have to find it for you and let you know, unless maybe Kasie or Mindy know where to find it quickly. Hey, Danny, no worries. You didn't get a teacher no-show. You're not that late. She's the one that mentions that we get teacher no-shows when we don't show up to her lives.
Oh,
There's a group of like, what, 7 or 8 of us that have a weekly schedule. So we all try to go to each other's lives. And
oh, that's so cool.
yeah,
I
so
love that. That's
this
cool.
isn't my day. So they're just awesome coming.
Oh,
When did Nancy start to scale back her classes to 10 a week?
oh, good question, Giselle. I started to scale back when I started to recruit more. So when I was teaching, I would teach for about 4 hours in the morning. So I would teach the max amount I could. And then I started to interview. So I would teach a little bit less, and then I would interview. Like I would do an 8 hour day. When I was a first interviewer, the first time I started interviewing, I would do big chunks a day, and it was always catered around my husband's schedule and my kids. And that was the cool part, was I could do daytime hours. So I was still hitting that. I think it was maybe $3,000 a month. That was always my goal, was just to hit like 3 to 4,000 a month consistently. And I was working a ton of hours, live hours, to do that, to make it happen. And then as I started recruiting more, a lot more passive income started to come in. So I started to teach 2 hours, and then I would interview for an hour a week. So everything else started to adjust, and I would spend more time on recruiting. So currently I spend majority of my time on coaching in my cohort. I actually do a lot of my time with my course, and then the rest is just pretty minimal. So I don't teach at all right now. Yeah.
So you just mentioned something that made me have another question. Ugh, I'll think about it and it'll come back to me.
Yeah.
Add something. Oh, well, I'll have to think about it. Let's see. Oh, yes, Kasie said we talked about this earlier. Some may get flagged, but I think if it's someone not spreading info that cause people to worry, then it may not be flagged. Yeah. They're just in the description that we were given in our group was that they're making sure people aren't spreading rumors about it. Kind of, they want to make sure you're following their guidelines and doing research before you mention it. Let's see. I think that's it for the chat. If I missed anything, just put it at the bottom. And Nancy, I just have a couple more questions. Is that okay? Because I know this is long for you. What are the qualities of a good teacher, and what are your strengths?
Good question. I feel like when I am helping someone through the application process and like the green light for they're going to be an excellent teacher is number one, they care enough to work on their teaching skill. Like they're very teachable. They're really good students. Those that really want to learn, and they show compassion. I think you can always see it in the classroom when they're teaching if they love what they're doing, and that really shines through. I know it's a little bit weird when you're in the application process and pretending to be a student. But I can always see if they love what they're doing and they have that compassion and they're passionate about it. And then another thing is that lifelong student. If they're always willing to learn, I always think of my own parents, my husband's parents. They're always like listening to, my husband's dad listens to like their lectures. He buys lecture tapes and just listens to them while he bikes, like always wanting to learn. And he's always learning. He's a doctor and always learning like the new systems. And even though he's in his 60s and could be using paper and pencil, he wants to learn how to do it on the computer and the iPad. And so when you have that willingness to learn, you're going to always be the best at what you do. And so if I am stuck in my ways and I know that simplicity does work, but those teachers that are willing to learn and implement those new strategies and take a TESOL, like learn those strategies and use them, you're going to be a better teacher. So yeah, I can always see that like light in their eyes when they love what they're doing.
So you just reminded me of my question. So when you're saying the interviews with your schedule for VIP Kid, you mean like when you're a mock mentor?
Yeah. Or even just helping my referrals, because I was helping them through like the process. I'm a little bit more hands off as my team runs my referral business a little bit more than I do. They're the ones in the trenches coaching. But yeah, I would always see like when I would get on video conferences or when they would send me videos, I could always see if they loved what they were doing, it was very easy to teach them. So if I had a mainstream classroom teacher and they were saying too many words, because in the classroom, it's you say your expectations and then you practice and then the students will follow through. In the online classroom, I cannot vocalize my expectations to a level 1 student that has no idea what I'm talking about. So it was I could see that, okay, this is how you would teach a new language learner. You would show instead of verbally explain. And it was very easy to teach them if they were willing to learn.
My mock mentor was awesome. I wish I could find her. Like, she was so much fun and acting like the kid on the other side. I had so much fun during that mock interview. It was great.
That's so important because it's such a nerve-wracking stage. Like, they're grading me. It's like when the principal comes in and all of a sudden you're like, you behave, kids.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if I ask a question.
Or you give them a heads up. Okay, we have friends coming today.
Yeah.
Yes, teacher.
If you guys are really good, I'll buy you donuts. Yeah. I'm not against bribery.
Me neither. Okay. Where do you see your business in 5 years?
That's a good question. I like the future questions because I'm a big, I like to have a 5-year, 10-year goal. With my business, I would love to continue to share on YouTube, share on social media, share on my platforms. And I really want to grow my coursework. I want to grow, I want to implement a membership down the road. So that's something that I want to do in my business. And I want to help online ESL teachers. So my big goal is to help them and to help them build an income and grow their income. That's my big vision. Is I can see how because when I first started teaching online, that's honestly what I wanted. Was I want to be able to work from home. So it's really cool that I can help others to solve that same need. Like, that's so cool that I have the tools to do that. So I want to keep doing that.
Good. And you talked to me a little bit about the membership too. So let's see.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you think because you're really well known, you get so many referrals? She said, maybe this is a no-brainer.
Giselle, I do think that that helps out. I think that when I first started, I had been doing YouTube for 7 months or like 6 months before, maybe it was 6 or 7, before I started actually recruiting on the platform. I was just posting content because it was fun. It was like a creative outlet, and I thought I could help some people out. I never had that business mindset of my big picture. I just kind of fell upon it and learned it. But I definitely do know, I know that VIP Kid will send out my videos or they'll link to my walkthroughs, and I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't help. Of course it helps. It's kind of been two ways. When I first started, they would use my videos and my pictures from my YouTube in ads, and I would be like, what, my face is on here? They never asked for my permission, but I never said anything because I thought it's just kind of free advertising that they're putting my face out there. So I do think that that has helped, but I don't think that that should hold anyone back from recruiting. I don't think that you have to say it's been done, because you most definitely, if you learn the skills and implement them, you too can see that same success.
Yeah, I do. As I'm referring people, I'm like, here's my videos. Oh, but here's the ones I learned from. So check out Nancy Taylor too.
I know, it's nice just to have resources for them, because if I'm learning a new skill, if I think of myself even learning something outside of teaching, I need someone to like send me, okay, you do this, 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 and walk me through it.
Yes, I need to be hands-on and watching. I'm not an auditory learner at all.
Me neither. I'm all visual.
Do you have any free materials to share with us, like cards or plans? I love your tips. Thanks. She has a class set up.
I do. Yep. I have a classroom setup guide on my website. It's at heynancytaylor.com. Under resources, I have 2D props for the application process. I have a recruiting guide.
The recruiting guide. That's actually when I started her course, was after I started going through the recruiting guide at the dentist office.
Yes, that's awesome. I love it. Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. For like, if you want 2D props and stuff, I would join. There's a group, props and 2D props and rewards. They have some good materials.
Yeah. And just in our teacher library, I'm pretty surprised at all the things they have in there, and the props and rewards are fun, especially if you have the same students over and over. You can print them out for free, you know. Let's see. I feel like that is what they look for with a second mock is, can you take direction and make adjustments? So does the first mock teacher leave feedback for the second one?
You can pass on the first mock. So if you have, for VIP Kid, you'll have your mock. Oh, do I see their feedback?
Right, because somebody had told me that they're getting different feedback from each one. So when they fix one, you know, when they fix something, the next one.
So when you go in to interview someone, you don't know how many classes they've had. You have no idea what the previous feedback was. There's pros and cons, because then you get a clean slate. But the con is they don't see what was told and what you implemented. So I see both ends. But yeah, they have no idea what the previous content was unless you tell them. So I would go into my mock class and I would say, what did you get in your last feedback? What are you working on? I would ask them just so we could get right to the point.
Good. Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, who doesn't like donuts? Oh, Kasie. I think it is because Nancy is so real, down to earth, and relatable.
Oh, thank you.
That's why you get your referrals. Yeah.
That's really nice.
Okay, well, that is all I have in the chat. Unless I missed somebody, I hope I didn't. And the last question, I see it still popping up. Do you know if they did lesson A or B on the previous mock
Nope,
class?
you have to ask him. So I would go into my mock class. I would say, did you do lesson A or lesson B? And your mock class mentor gets to choose which one you do. And if they do ask which one you did previously, they usually pick the other one. Or I don't know, some of them pick the same one, but they don't have any previous knowledge. They just, when you have your schedule, it's very much like your teaching schedule for mock classes. You'll just have a name there. And I just see, and I see what level they're certifying in. So I know which level I am assessing them on. Is it 2, 3, or 4, 5? But nothing else.
I passed my first time, thankfully. And she had asked me, like, well, you haven't taken one yet, so do you want A or B? And I'm like, can you just choose one? I just want to get started. And she was like, okay. So
yeah, I would always choose A. It feels easier to me, but maybe it's not.
really
I don't know.
good question, Tim. I think that's it. Okay. So what is your favorite book, resource, or something that you use?
Ooh, specific for teaching?
Hmm. I'll just let you choose a specific because I know some of yours and I've bought some of the books you've mentioned and gone to these. So I don't know. You've got great resources.
Oh, yes. So I'm a big podcast fan. So when I listen to podcasts, I'll listen to what their book recommendations are. And I love learning about business. I love learning about, I don't know why, I just like love consuming that content. It's something
Mhm.
that lights me up and I love it. So the book that I like that's like a motivation, I listen to, oh my goodness, I just forgot her name. Rachel Hollis. Rachel Hollis, she has Girl Go Wash Your Face or Girl Stop Apologizing. They're like just like pump me up books that I love because they kind of work with that mindset of, oh yeah, I got this, I can do this. I love Gary Keller, The One Thing. I'm one that likes to try everything. When I was going in high school and in college, or even just in high school and junior high, I wanted to do all the sports. I wanted to do all 4 of them and get the 4 sport award. And I did it, but I realized I could have been really good at one thing. I could have been really good. I was fortunate enough to have a dad that told me, get really good at one thing. And so I was
Mhm.
able to do track and do soccer in college. But because I started to focus on 1 sport, 2 sports, and becoming better at those. But that's kind of Gary Keller teaches you about the one thing and how to focus, and
Mhm.
you're working smarter rather than harder. And he kind of explains things like I just love how he explains things. One concept that I liked, he talks about your willpower. It's by Gary Keller again, The One Thing, and I'll
Mhm.
say like in the morning you have this full charge, this big willpower. You're able to be productive and get things moving, and then your willpower starts to get less and less. And I always think of it like I become more short with my kids. I'm less focused in my work. So you need like a recharge, whether it's like a workout or maybe a break. But I like how he talks about willpower, and you get that recharge at the beginning of the day. Oh, one more thing. Can I share one more thing from The One Thing?
Of course.
I've
I
always,
have the book. I haven't read
yes.
it yet. My husband's read it twice, so it's my turn now.
Yes, yes. He talks about balance, and I love his analogy to balance. He says you
Mhm.
have 2 balances. You have your life one, your family, your relationships. That's your balance, and then your business, your brand, like your business and what you do for work. And he says for your life one, you have your balance in the middle. So that means you're spending the right amount of time with your kids. You have dinner on the table every night. Like that's right there in the middle. He says you can take short breaks away from the middle. So let's say I go on a business trip, I'm a little bit away. Let's say that I film for 8 hours that day. So I don't do school time with my daughter. I do a little break away. And then you only take short breaks away. You still stay close to the balance. And then he says with your business, you take bigger risks, bigger steps to really see big results. So let's say that I spend a good chunk of time working on a course and I implement a ton of time to learn it and I'm sprinting, but it's temporary. I know it's not long term. I can't maintain it long term. So you can go away from the balance for a little bit longer time. I just like that you have 2 balances. So yes, read it. Listen to it on audio. That's my thing, audio tape
Mhm.
or Audible.
I got this platform, I guess is what I'm trying to think of, from Bigger Pockets, the podcast. It's a
Oh,
business
cool.
podcast because they do the fire round, the the famous
Mhm.
questions at the end. So
Yes, that's so cool. Danny did say workouts. I will be
yeah.
doing workouts. I've created a separate channel where I'll be uploading new workouts this year. Yay. So they're
Yay.
coming, Danny. They're coming.
Good. What kind of work? Well, I've seen your workout ones, but Do you do a little bit of everything, or you
I
gotta
do,
have total bodies, right?
they're 30 minutes or less. I do interval work, hit work. I'll do strength training with dumbbells, but yeah, mine's all about efficiency. So I'll do the big thing with interval training is you can get your heart rate up for a longer period of time. So let's say a minute on and then 20 seconds off. And so you can work out for a shorter amount of time, 30 minutes or less. You don't have to go. Yeah, it's in reverse of, let's say I did an hour run. I had to run for an hour. I can get the same effect in 30 minutes with a little bit more intensity.
With HIIT trainings.
Yes,
although,
yes, I love it.
Let's just put it out there. You were a sprinter, so you can run. I love the story about your husband and you going running.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that from Journey. I'd only been with VIP Kid for a little bit over a month, and I went to Journey.
Oh, he's the most competitive guy. He beats me in everything except for ping pong. That's the only thing I've ever beat him in. And I played with my left hand. He got so mad. He was like, I hate this. Funny. Like, I had a ping pong table growing up, Dave. I'm sorry. I will beat you at that.
My left hand is, I wouldn't say useless, but I can't do much with it. I am not ambidextrous at all. Okay, Nancy. I think that's it from, hello. Welcome, everybody. We still have more people coming in. Super great to see you all here. Nancy, can you plug your channel or your business? What's upcoming?
Yeah. So my YouTube channel is just Nancy Taylor. It's just my name. You can check it out. I upload, my goal is once a week, but as I'm in my course, I have not been as consistent. But I do have videos all about teaching English online. I have branding, recruiting. So if you're an online teacher and want to take that next step, I most definitely teach content there. And then I also have my Instagram is Hey Nancy Taylor, and my website is heynancytaylor.com. And so anytime my courses are live, you'll see them on my website. I only launch my course for branding and recruiting twice a year. So in January and then in the fall. So spring and fall cohort. And then the foundational course is available year round. And you'll find it on heynancytaylor.com.
And she's got her shop. I can see your map and your pom-poms.
Oh, this is actually launching. That's literally what I'm doing after our live is I'm launching my world map. Do you guys want, I would show you, but they're on the wall. Yeah, you have to.
I didn't know that was coming out.
Yeah, it's going live today. So my job is I need to get all the back end images and all the clicks and all that stuff set up. But yeah, all of my videos are ready to go live.
So is it VIP Kid approved? Because I've already had to take one map down.
Yes, I know. I had to send mine in. The big thing is they want to make sure that China and Taiwan, right? Yeah, are the same color. And they are. Yep, I made sure of that.
I think it was Danny that just mentioned that in another live that she had a map taken down, or we just talked about it. Maybe it was Kelly, but yeah, so we do like looking for maps that we know is safe to use in the classroom. So
yep.
Yeah, check that out today. And they can find that at heynancytaylor.com.
So that you can click on shop in the top, or you can go to the taylorshop.us. But yes, they're going live today.
Yay. Oh, we got to hear all about it first.
You did.
Super excited. That is all I have. I know the chat is still going. Guys, thank you so much. I don't want to take up any more of your time because poor Nancy, this is her third live today. And I'm just so thankful that you came to my little channel. I love it.
Yes, of course. I was excited.
And this was planned before she even launched her her course. So I wasn't sure that you'd still be able to make it, but I am.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Comes to those that are patient. Yes.
Right.
I'm so happy we made it happen. Yeah.
Yes, me too. Thank you, everybody in the chat. And thank you, Nancy.
You got it. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Kasie. So fun. Bye-bye.
I'm still learning how to end these.
It's fine. Smile and wave.
End in Zoom and then YouTube. Got it.
Oh, yes. Bye.